one of the amazing guests who is joining from Dubai, Dr. Ez. He is running his organizations from Dubai, Z Dimensions and Z Academy.ai. He started his career from academia and later on he moved to become a corporate leader.
1960s universities are ahead from industry by 20 years, and unfortunately now it's the opposite.
Anybody who is not worked in BFSI, that is banking, financial services, securities and insurance industry, or in for the matter fintech, how they can get into these kind of profiles and how actually you in fact help them. Please share some insight. GRC and ESG.
AI entered all the fields. If you want to make auditing, instead of making a conventional audit procedures, now you can make data analytics scripts. Either you automate things or you will be automated.
Tell me one thing about Dubai. Why Dubai?
You see, Dubai is...
Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to the Upskill School. Your host Abhishek here. And today in our podcast, we have one of the amazing guests who is joining from Dubai, Dr. Ez. He is running his organizations from Dubai, Z Dimensions and as well as Z Academy.ai. To tell you about him, he started his career as from academia and later on he moved to become corporate leader. Now he runs company as well. So welcome to the show, Dr. Ez. First of all, I want to sort of go back to the roots. Please tell us about your journey. How did you start it? Where are you from? And how you ended up Dubai? How things are spanning out for you in Dubai currently?
Very good. I am Jordanian and I started my career as academician after I finished my PhD in computer engineering. This was in 2002. And in 2006, that time we had a good commercial activities between US and Jordan in offshoring. And I used to select the talented students from my class in order to be programmers. And I started like freelance. And then in 2006, I opened a software development company called Z Dimension. At that time, it is the same name. And I used to hire my talented students in order to develop such projects. I remember such projects was related to game development and also for learning different languages like simulated conversation with the computers to teach people on different languages. And in 2010 we focused on developing tools, and also we became a partner with ACL, which is Audit Command Language, which is specifically for data analytics for audit. But in the meanwhile, I was carrying two hats. I mean, academician, like a professor in computer engineering, and in the same time to run my business. But the business was run by, like managers at that time. In 2013, we decided to expand and to go to Dubai, in which we opened the branch in Dubai for Z Dimension, in which we achieved a good success journey from there because the Z Dimension expanded to other countries in GCC. Now we have like 11 offices, including offices in Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Morocco, in addition to Jordan. And since that time, 2014, Z Dimension became headquartered in Dubai, and we moved to other dimensions of the, let me say, governance, rather than just focusing for the internal audits as our clients, but moved to GRC in order to cover the risk, professional, and also compliance. And in the last 2 years, starting from maybe 2020, we expand our services into ESG, including the not only ESG consultation, but also training and also the software development and dashboard and ESG data analytics. So this is a brief about myself and my company and my career.
The academia, which is more on, people call on theories and not so practical, and actually making it to a more practical output by way of deliverable, by way of a software which is tangible, by way of academic coaching. So I think thank you so much. Many of those who are listening to us or watching us will always be looking upon how the academia can convert into the IPs, how the studies can go into the product. So I think this is the best example. We have the president, the founder, the director, the board member of Z Dimension and Z Academy.ai, Dr. S, who has led this, shown it by way of his own substance, by the work he has delivered, now having multiple offices, including in Dubai, and helping millions of students, I would say, in across the Middle East, in many countries to get upskilled. Isn't it, Dr. S? Especially the upskilling. I want to quite catch upon the word upskilling. And how do you see that both as an academia professional, which you was previously, and now as a corporate leader?
Yeah, and you see, in 1960s, we used to say that universities are ahead from industry by 20 years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, now it's the opposite. The industry is ahead from the academia by 20 years.
Yes.
And this gap, I witness the two gaps, in fact, in my career, because the industry is moving too fast, seeking for luxury of services for the clients, automation, and etc., which in fact, because of bureaucracies, in fact, the academia, as you know, that they only can update their curriculum every 4 years, which is comparing with the advancement that is happening in the AI and also even RegTech or FinTech. It is very fast comparing with the movement of the academia. And that's why the only solution to bridge the gap is to build such academies, upskill academies, Z Academy, in order to fulfill the gap and keep our students up to date. To tell you the truth, I have even students who did not yet finish their degree, but they are working and they are very active and they are doing some development, which means that unfortunately the degree was not, what can I say, it was not a necessity in order to upskill the students. I witnessed this during my career as a president of one of universities, and but because of the umbrella of the Ministry of Education and many regulation, we cannot go beyond the standards, as I said. So in order to have 100 minimum 20 hours for the students to cover some general education, which is not necessary for the career development, to tell you the truth. So such as academies, I think it will help the students to bridge the gap and to be very productive in day zero after they graduate.
Yeah, in fact, a very similar understanding, which I also got to know because I was doing my PhD, which is in the last stages with MIT University here in India, in the northern part of India, in Delhi, Noida. And while I was doing PhD, I met a lot of students who are young and who come to university to get graduated, and then they look upon for getting internships and jobs. And what I realized is that of late, in last 30-40 years, the student should also be employable is a very important factor. So if you are educated but the industry has moved forward, then always industry also faces a gap of a knowledge which is there for 1 or 2 years lagging behind, which requires the student has to again go back and get educated on and upskilled on certain aspects. So this is what I observe, but I think the work which you are doing in Z Dimensions and what we are trying to do based in our upskill school is to actually give them such bridging platforms which can help bridge the gap of what an academia can offer and what the industry wants, and this help them to sort of be better employable. Move it to the next part, since you have built softwares as well. Please tell us what is GRC, what is ESG, and how anybody who is not worked in BFSI, that is banking, financial services, securities and insurance industry, or in for that matter fintech, how they can get into these kind of profiles and how actually you in fact help them. Please share some insight, GRC and ESG.
You see, I will keep it very simple that we have two types of companies or enterprises. One which is running by firefighting, let me say, and another run by more stable and governance leadership, let me say. So obviously the enterprises in the 19th centuries, they were based on firefighting, but they make a success. But unfortunately, such success is risky. It is not like sustainable success because it's not based on a robust and a stable system. It was like a one-man show, and it depends on the decision of the leader and how he or she is running the show. And then investors realize that this is risky, and they try to find, and also being many big companies with a huge investment by the investor went bankrupt by over the night. I mean, which was really questionable for many investors. And there are many cases happened during the crisis, whether in the dot-com crisis 2000 or 2008, and even it's a continuous from time to time. For example, what happened for the Silicon Valley banks, for example. The only reason was when you make a forensic, it was only because of the lack of the governance. So they are trying to give a protocol and guidelines for the companies in order to have such a frameworks of governance in order to build a confidence for the investors. So different articles were published. Some of them, they were focused on managing the risk, other managing the compliance, to be compliant with the regulators, and a third to focus on governance, in which the industry leaders, they came to the concept, and this concept was originated by OSIG, which is the GRC, in order to describe a company that is respecting the governance, taking and managing the risk, and also to comply with a certain regulation by the regulator. So in total, it is a GRC in which it's a framework, by the way. It's not a software, it's a framework.
Yes.
And there is a red book published by OSIG also for the GRC guidelines, in which companies, they can follow and to respect the recommendation of the GRC. And what we have done as a technology company is to develop a platform, because, GRC activities, usually I call it's Z Dimension, and this is the name of Z Dimension came because if you look at the overall technology for managing the enterprises, for example, in 2000s, we have the technology of ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, to manage the operation of the company and to develop software for them. And this was in the Y-axis, let me assume. And then in 2010s, the recommendation was to go to the CRM, which is to manage the customer relationship management. And there were, like Salesforce company, it was the leader in this aspect. And in 2020, let me say, there is a Z dimension, which is focusing on the GRC activities.
Industry as well. Can you tell us what are the important traits which you have developed or you would like to suggest to any new founder, entrepreneur who is looking to form companies, who is looking to grow? What is your learning takeaways which they should always follow?
You see, now AI is everywhere. Everything is driven by AI. Even the new projects, the condition is not to build on the traditional software, but on AI tools. And also AI entered all the fields and name it, and all the sectors, medical, mining, manufacturing, education. All the sectors are impacted by the AI and automation. And that's what we are doing now. For example, if we want to make ESG report writing, instead of writing it in months, you can develop ESG report by days or weeks with the help of AI tools and generative AI. If you want to make, for example, an auditing, instead of making a conventional audit procedures, now you can make data analytics scripts that will correspond to the audit objectives, and it can generate audit report with minutes rather than months or weeks. One of the biggest company in India, in fact, they took from us we developed for them a good project using the data analytics tool. And I asked my team to meet the director of the or chief audit officer, and they told me that there is no chief audit officer. The department is fully automated, and
Wow.
there is no human for the internal audit. So I would like to put this on the table for the professionals that I used to say either you automate things or you will be automated. I mean, at that time, you will not find any opportunity to contribute. If you are a physician or an engineer or a teacher or a professor, you don't use these tools to automate what you are doing, then others will automate what you are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So either
Yeah.
you fix it or somebody else will fix you.
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
And this
I'm,
is a fact.
yeah.
And to tell you the truth, you see, there is a study from Oxford in 2013. They said by 20 years, some careers will be affected by automation.
Yeah.
And they put, for example, I just give an example. For accounting, they put 95% it will be impacted by automation, which
Yeah.
means there is this, like operator. You remember the telephone operator? We don't have a telephone operator now. So the same, we will not have accountant anymore, and we will not have internal auditor as a human. But you will employ some agents and you give scripts for them to do the job.
Yes.
So if we don't teach our students and our professional the way for the next decade, the way is things are being done, they will be lost. They will be in among something which is they don't know at all. I met some people before 2 days. In fact, he is a professional. He is a good banking with like 30 years. He said, he was criticizing the new things. He said, people, they can deal with computers, but they don't know the procedures and they don't. So he was criticizing the old fashion of doing things and the new fashion. But this is it. I mean, nowadays, the automation skills to deal with the automation, the data analytics, and building dashboard, building storyboards. These are the skills that needed nowadays. Not to open even if you have a skills, unfortunately, with the background, but if you don't use these tools, obviously the skills will be outdated.
Yeah, you're from Jordan.
Yeah,
It's a
you
nice
see,
country. Why did you move to Dubai? And now Dubai is opportunity for everyone.
you see, Dubai is the digital hub in Middle East. I think I like it because whatever we are talking about, you can feel it on the street, in the mall, in the transaction. I remember I was in a taxi and I have to move from a place to another. I mean, I want to move my home from a place to another. And there's a procedure in order to, cancel all the, we call it DUA, electricity and water bills, and to cancel the rent contract and pay all the bills and cancel it and move to another. I was surprised that I have done all these things while I am in the taxi trip.
Wow.
In my mobile, which is really, which means that the digital transformation in Dubai, I can say that more mature, more than any ever city I visited, even more than New York. So yeah, Dubai is very mature, and whatever we talk on blockchain and fintech and ESG technology, you can witness it and see it in your daily operation.
No, in
So
fact,
that's why I mean, whatever we cannot make in another city, but we can do in Dubai.
no, I can feel it, sense it. A lot of my friends who are there, who are in the leadership positions, especially CEOs and coaches of CEO. I visited with my family last year, Dubai, and we were amazed to see the progress, the quality, even the quality of the road. We just travel from long distance on the highway. We never feel a single bump or any kind of potholes. But whereas we in our country we have a lot of trouble, especially with potholes on the road. So the amazing infrastructure, nice people, nice vision, the vision they carry for the people of the country, for their own people in the country, and also the diaspora and the expats who come live there, make their careers, and make that city and make that country great. That
True,
goes because of the leader
true.
as well of the country. One interesting question we generally ask is that if you need to relive one moment of your professional life, what would be, what that would be, and please do share with us.
Yeah, I mean, you see, still we need the human and we need the prosperity for human being.
Yes.
And though the automation is there, but still we have to take care of the professional. And to tell you the truth, any intern, any professional beginner who want to start his career, I love to help them and to give them advices from my experience. So it's a part of the social responsibility that we upskill people and fresh graduates in order to handle. And I think a huge percentage of the fresh graduate will having great opportunities with this AI and automation era.
So I think this brings to the end of the conversation. It was amazing having you here, Dr. S. Know your perspective from the leader
Thank
who
you very much.
has experience in academia and went into influence the leadership roles, lead corporates, lead organization in the corporate world, and currently helping people get perspective in the upskill in the education field. I can call you as an educator who is not just educating people but also a technocrat who is building technology for people to comply. I can say you are a GRC
Thank you.
professional who is expert in GRC and making organization comply with the regulatory requirement, and of course the ESG leaders whom the world is looking upon, and how they can help the regulators domestically, locally, to bring the organization up the curve, and how they can solve the reporting and other
True.
obligations emanating from that. Thank you so much, Dr. S. Any final
Thank you.
from
Thank
you?
you.
Final words, final
Thank you. I
advice for the people. Yeah.
thank you very much, and I wish you all the best in what you are doing in upskill school, and also you are sharing the same by building the capacity for the fresh graduates and for the professional. And I think for sure, we will find a room for collaboration. And you are welcome here in Dubai. Anytime you visit, let us meet in person.
Thank you so much. Always being so kind-hearted.
Thank
Very
you.
grateful. Very grateful to you.
Thank you very much.
The people from
Thank
different
you very
walks
much.
of life meets because of the wavelength they carry. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much once again. And
Thank you.
bless the world. We make great contribution to make changes in the world. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.